Okay.
Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you, Martin. Glad to be here.
How are you doing? How are you coping with lockdown? All right in Oban?
Yeah, not too bad. Just kind of managing.
I know.
Just
Did you get
trying
any?
to
Did
do
you
the
manage
best
to
I
get yourself
can.
any badminton in the break, in the interval? Did you get any badminton in?
Um, I got some badminton because our a hall here is not council run, so it could be open.
I say nice. Edinburgh's really
So
badly affected, like most of
which
the.
isn't too bad.
I live in the borders, and
No,
everywhere
we're
was
not.
closed.
Yeah, like in Argyle Bute, our hall here was the only one open because it's a kind of community run sort of enterprise thing, whereas all the other facilities in Argyle and Bute, all the halls are in part of joint to the high school. So with the high schools being there, they're taking priority over everything else. So they're getting shut. So
Yeah,
that's kind of what
that's good.
we have to do.
Okay, well, let's fire another question. So, your full name, please.
Full name is Bruce Aitken.
No middle names. No middle names.
Well, we'll go middle name. So it's Bruce Stephen Aitken.
Stephen, thank you. Is that with a V? A V or a PH?
Mm-hmm.
A V.
PH.
A PH, thank you. That's good.
PH.
Thank you. And your age?
27 years old.
27. And your home area is? Where were you born?
Uh, uh, born, I was born in Alexandria, but born and raised in Oban, Argyle and Bute.
Where's Alexandria? Where's Alexandria?
Just Dumbarton.
Oh, is that really? And then when did you move to
Dumbarton,
Argyle?
yeah.
When did you move to Argyle?
Hospital, yeah. Well, if you're from Oban, that's probably one of the hospitals you go to.
All right.
Then you come back. So I was,
I see.
conceived here. I think
I
would
see.
be the way to put it.
Oh, I see. So you're in you lived in Oban, but you had to go to Dumbarton to be born. Is that right? I
Correct.
see.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
And do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 7, so I've got 3 brothers, 3
Wow.
sisters.
Wow. Oldest of 7. Wow. So
Oldest
how many
of 7,
brothers?
that's right.
How many brothers? How many brothers?
I've got 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Wow. And and what age difference are there between you all, Bruce?
Well, my brother closest to me, he would be 25, and then the youngest one out of them is only 11.
Wow.
So it's quite an age range.
That's incredible. And are any of the others into badminton as well?
It's kind of 2 youngest brothers. They want to try and beat their big brother, so
Good.
they kind of I try and help them out with it when they can. Obviously,
You know what's going to happen, Bruce? They're going to be better than you. They're going to be better than you.
No.
They really are.
I can't teach them all the tricks. That's not fair.
That is a
Doesn't work like
given.
that.
I can tell you from
Well,
experience, they're going to be better than you. and if I have this conversation with them, they'll tell me that I'm going to beat my big brother. If I had this conversation with them now, they would say I've got a brother that's 2 years older than me, but I'm going to beat him one day. I'm going to beat that guy. I'm going to beat him. So, which is all good. It's all good, right?
So to say.
So, what age were you when you first started playing? When you first picked up a racket, was it school? What?
It was school. I actually got introduced to the sport just by a friend. They just kind of said, like, come along to the after school club, we'll have a wee kind of hit around. And that was high school. So that I didn't really start till I was about 14, 15 years old.
Well, yeah.
Compared to like Alan, who you interviewed yesterday, he was up at 7.
I know.
So it started at
It's
7.
incredible. It is incredible, isn't it? But so to go back to you, so in Oban, that was in Oban, right? That's the high school. How many people are at that high school? Is it a big school?
Yeah, there's quite a lot. No. Yeah, you'd be looking oh, a good few hundred anyway. I couldn't put a
Right.
number on it.
And what? Obviously,
Um,
it's so rural. What region does it cover? How big is the area it covers? How far would people come to go to high school at Oban?
Argyle Bute's quite a large area.
Geographical.
Yeah, in terms of a geographical area, the thing is, with being such a rural area, it does have its challenges. There's absolutely no question about that.
I know.
I'm sure we'll get into that a wee bit later on.
We will, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at kind of like towns, you'd be another club would be another hour away,
Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour.
And
Yeah,
like
so it's
where
a
you
challenge.
play, how far will people come to play with you? Look, so I'm thinking after school club, and I'm thinking rural. I'm thinking there's probably a bus that goes at X o'clock. So how far would people come to go to badminton after school, and how would they get?
Well, after schools normally had like kind of after school sort of clubs and things like that, which you were able to kind of move. There's always buses and transport that you could get. Sorry. They would always run about maybe 5:30.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So
Do you still live in a house with? Do you still live in a house with like 9 people in it?
No. It's just stuff, various things coming in there.
Are you in the bedroom?
So yeah, that was fine. Hopefully.
No, that's
Too
great.
much noise.
That's great. That's great. So what age were you when you first started playing? That was great. So you reckon about 14, 15. You remember your first ever racket?
I do. I know it was a Yonex B series. That was my first one. It was a wee red and silver one. I was a proper full size racket at that point. It weighed a freaking ton compared to what we use now. So yeah, that's what I. That's,
When you say
that's my
3
first
series, you
one.
can't remember. It was a 3.7 or something like that. Was it one of them kind of things? Was it? I suppose it's.
Oh,
probably,
it was
nah,
a B-3.
aye. You don't
God knows
still
what
have
it
it. And I guess your family must do a lot of hand me downs, right? Have you given all your rackets to your younger siblings?
To be honest with you, is I was the first one that started playing, so I've
Right.
had nothing. I've kind of learnt my way
Is that right?
myself there. I've passed down a couple. Yeah, excuse
That's
me.
brilliant. And what was the name? The next question was, what was the name of your first club? What was the name of
It's
the
still
club?
currently what it is. It was just Oban High School and still play for Oban, so that's not changed.
And how is the hall? Is it quite high? Is it good? Good quality hall?
Well,
Modern?
when I started playing in the high school was really low, and it had that horrible yellow light to it,
Mhm.
like much like the old Meadowbank. It was
Yeah.
that horrible yellow light. It was nasty to play in.
There's something
But
about the
hall
bulbs,
was
isn't
nice.
it? There's something about the bulbs they use. Yeah.
Oh God, there were awful things. The shuttle would disappear somewhere, and it would suddenly be down behind you
know.
or something like that.
I know.
We've all fallen foul to that one, I think.
Oh yeah. But they're better now.
But the hall we play in now at the Atlantis Centre, which is really, really high. You've got
What's it
absolutely
called?
no
What's it?
chance.
It's called what?
Atlantis.
Atlantis. Let's have a look at that.
hmm
See if I can get it up.
And it's a phenomenal. It's a ridiculously high hall, and you'd have to be really, really trying.
Sorry, I lost you there a second. Really?
So,
1 second. Let's see if I can do something here. Yeah, I'm still here. I just lost you a wee second.
Yep.
I'm back. I should be back now. It's that I've got a new camera system set up, and it's really messy. It's I'm using my phone as a camera. I've never done it before, but I'm using my phone as the webcam, which is quite a new thing for me. So anyway, share. I was going to have a look at this. So let's have a look at this. Screen 2. Okay, let's have a look. Can you see my screen?
Yep, that's it.
Can you see my screen? The Atlantis Centre. Was that there?
Yeah, that's it.
Atlantis Centre in Oban. Let's see, facilities. What would it be? The
Sorry, what was that, Martin?
I'm just trying to see what area it would be. I could find an image of it. Interesting to see. There we are. There's it. I was hoping to find a picture. It's not going to happen.
So if you just go into Google. Images, really, just put Atlantis Oban and just put some into Google Images, you should find it, no problem.
Okay. Good pool.
So there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. It's really modern, isn't it? Does it have all of the things? Is that there?
That's it. Yep, that's it. That's just half of it.
Wow. Was that the lights look really good? In fact.
Yeah, that's just a recent change that they've done. They've changed it. They changed the lights, which is quite good.
LEDs. What a difference that'll make.
And it's good as well. It's a good sprung floor as well, so you don't have it quite hard on the knees compared to some places.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, 1 second, I'll just return. 1 second. Stop sharing my screen 1 second. You still there? I'm just going to stop that. 1 second. Oh, that's it. I don't know what's happened here. I've lost myself. I need to stop sharing my screen for what I need to do.
Yep.
1 second, sorry. Sorry about this.
It's okay, no problem.
Stop sharing my screen. That's it. Stop sharing. That should be me back now. That's better. That's good. Yeah, nice. Looks lovely.
That's better.
Really, that's quite modern.
Yeah,
quite recently done out, is it? The lights. Yeah, the lights look really good. Most of the lights in Edinburgh are nothing like that, I don't think. And you travel.
No,
what I notice about you is that I've lost your video actually.
Here we go. I'm coming back.
Oh, hold on a second. What's going on here?
Here, I'm back.
Recording is in. 1 second. 1 second. Recording is in progress. Open your recorders to Matt. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so that's great. What was the first club? Do you remember your shuttles? What kind of shuttles? You're not that old. I think that's what I forget. Everybody I've interviewed has been ancient like me. You're quite young, I suppose, at 27. What shuttles do you play with, or what did you play with when you first started?
What started with, well, in the high school, we were just using the plastics, which were never of great quality. You found some good ones every now and again, but they're all had a tear in them or something like that. I don't think that's changed over the course of many years throughout schools. But normally using Yelex tournaments.
Oh, really?
The ones that we use at the club, which seems to be
That's what you use now, is it?
I think we've got some of those just now, which have been really good. Good kind of budget shuttle, and they'll last okay without going over the top in price.
Do you remember how much it cost? See, when you first started playing badminton, do you remember how much you paid when you played? How much you charged? Is it still the same?
It'll have changed slightly, but I think we're around about the £5 mark.
£5.
I don't think that's really changed much.
Quite normal. That's good, yeah. Where were you? So your first coaching? Do you remember that?
The coaching, right? I've learnt things a lot myself. I've had help through Debbie Craig.
Yes.
She's been good, helping with various bits and pieces to get me to a good stage.
Yes.
I hope like I am now. I've been away, had a couple of sessions with Patrick McHugh.
Yeah.
And I was away at a camp down at Inverclyde maybe 3-4 years.
Is that the one in Largs?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess tomorrow I think Bob was there that day, so I can
you can check on that, yeah.
You can check on that. I was definitely there.
Yeah, good. Do you remember your first ever tournament? What was your first tournament memory?
first tournament memory.
So obviously, when you played, it's obviously a small community, a small hall. And what was it like when you first went outside? Do you remember the first time you went outside of Oban to what you felt like was a big city badminton tournament? Do you remember that?
Yes. Yep, I can do all these things for you here. So first tournament will go as in like a kind of in area that we have a yearly kind of competition between different places in Argyle and Bute,
Yes.
called the Argyle Cup. So it's like Oban as a team, Lochilphead and Campbelltown form a team, and Cowell or Dunoon form a team as well. So it's all doubles.
Right.
And I was part of a team that year, and I have been ever since. I was, don't know what, we're going to maybe go 2014, maybe slightly less than that. And I was part of a team. I think we won one of the cups that year, so which was good. So that'll be a kind of first win as a tournament, as a team, going into kind of wins on my own would have been in Edinburgh actually as a singles league.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's a long trek, right? Going to Edinburgh from Oban's a long way, right?
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, that's always part of the kind of,
Life.
if you want to get better, you will have to travel. There's no question.
Can I ask, what do you do for work, Bruce? How do you manage? What do you work? Do you work? What do you do?
Yeah, I work as sort of on a trade counter, so selling to joiners, builders, various tradesmen. So yes, sometimes I've got to work weekends, sometimes I've got weekends off. So I've just got to work it in with that, which is okay. I can get to most things. But I have
So how long? So if you went to a tournament in Edinburgh, say, and these things tend to start at 9:30 in the morning, how would you get there?
I'd finish work on a Friday and travel down.
Would you?
Yep.
And how long is that travel?
Well, if you're going by train, you wouldn't arrive in Edinburgh till 11 o'clock at night.
Leaving at what time?
Driving.
Leaving at what time? So what time? You get train at what?
Train leaves here at 6:10.
Right. And you get into Edinburgh at 11?
Yeah, because you've got to change in Glasgow, so.
I see. Is that your most common? You don't drive, or do you just?
To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of driving in Edinburgh. I'm not keen on it. That's the honest answer. Driving is, I can drive most places, so that's no bother at all.
But generally, if you go to Edinburgh, you take the train mostly.
I'd probably drive now, but earlier on, I'd probably.
Sorry, that's my dog back. Sorry, that's my dog.
Sometimes if I'm going to Edinburgh, I'll go down and stay at a friend's house. Then generally we're going anyway, so it's easier just to drop the car and all go together that way. It makes it easier.
That's good, isn't it? And is there a big contingent of badminton players in Oban? What's it like in your area? How many? When is your club nights as well? When do you play? What night is it?
It's on a Tuesday night.
Right. What, 8 till 10 or 9 till?
Normally it was 8 till 10. In the past few months where we were able to run a club, it was 7 till 9, which worked quite well, so no one's getting home too late.
Exactly. I think people like it, don't they? I think 8 till 10 there's something I find about getting home and then getting changed and go back out again. I much prefer to go straight from work and hang about for a wee half hour after work and then kind of go to start at 7, 10. 8 till 10 feels like it feels like getting home at 11 o'clock, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this being said, from a 7 till 9, because it's such a kind of vast area, and people are maybe working in the town and then having to head home and back in again, maybe an 8 till 10 is better because people can get home, have some dinner, and go out again. So,
how far would people travel, Bruce? How far would people travel to come to the club on Tuesday?
Well, we have players coming from Fort William, which is just on, which is part of the Highland Council area. They would travel down. It takes about kind of, again, 45 minutes to an hour, just depends where they are.
Wow.
But you've got, the thing is, they're coming to get reasonable games.
Once a week, yeah.
And like I said earlier on there, if you're not willing to put in the travel, then you're not going to either get good games or give yourself the chance to get
I
better.
understand. Is there community badminton? Do the people, these little, like Fort William, will they have a little hall with the people can go and play once a week in Fort William kind of thing?
I mean, yeah, there probably is places that you can do that. I wouldn't know so much to say now.
No, I'm just interested to know if people, maybe they come to you on a Tuesday and do they go and meet locally and on a Thursday or something like that, local to them in a wee church hall or something of the kind, I guess.
They haven't been able to do that this year, really. They used to have the high school, but I think the issue they've got is it's been able to get consistent people kind of coming along to keep it going.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on that for sure.
No, that's good. That's great. Okay, so far into the questions here. Most successful event, singles. Do you like singles or doubles or mixed? What do you prefer?
Singles is probably where I probably thrive in best.
Yeah.
But I enjoy
Most
all
of the people you played against are probably about 70, right? In Oban.
No, do not be saying things like that, because I could end up in a lot of trouble.
So good. Who is your main competition? Who drives you, I guess, to be better? Do you think when you started, who did you aspire to? Locally.
I think there was a few good players that they were miles ahead of me. I was not even in contention because I was still kind of learning as I go. There was a good guy. He's Ali McDonald. He's very, very good.
Right. He's from Oban?
He's from Lochilphead, which is
Right.
south of Oban.
Yeah.
And still further south, going down to Campbelltown, there was the two Cooper brothers, Duncan and Callum.
Really?
And they're fantastic players. They're much better now than they were back then. It's a phenomenal.
What was that? What were those names? Sorry, Bruce. What were they? Cooper brothers, did you say?
Callum and Duncan Hooper.
Yeah. Shout out to these guys.
Yeah, no, they were fantastic, and they were. I couldn't believe when they were in Ireland watching them. That was fantastic as well. They were so good that day.
Were they?
Yeah.
And have you played against them? Were they singles players?
I'll make sure I get this right. I think they're both good doubles players, and I can't remember who was the better singles player. I can't remember that. I'm gonna kick myself for not knowing that.
But they played singles is the point. They were both singles players, were
they? They can play singles, aye.
But they were playing singles. Is that what you say their best pursuit was?
I've seen them play more doubles.
Really? Yeah, really. And what age are they now? What age would they be?
Duncan will be the same age as me, and Callum, he'll be about 25.
Right.
So he's not that much younger than Duncan.
So where will they go to be better? Do you think? Where will they go to get better games to be better? Because they must be playing somewhere else.
Well, they're kind of close. They're now closer to Glasgow. That's where they stay.
I see.
So they're.
I see.
So they've got things left, right, and centre. As you know, being in Edinburgh yourself,
yeah,
there's things within half an hour.
There's facilities available. And have you ever been tempted to move away purely for badminton? Would you ever think, do you know what? I could live in Glasgow. I could live in Edinburgh. I really would like to get better. But if I lived somewhere local, imagine I could play 3 or 4. Because I know people in Edinburgh that will play 3 and 4 times a week at very, very good standard every single time. You obviously love it. Would you ever do that? What do you think of that?
It's been tempting. It's been tempting, but I like how things are here, and the things that I like here.
Is it because you're the best there? Is that why you don't want to move? Because you're scared of moving somewhere else and you'd be rubbish?
No, 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 no,
Because
no,
it
no,
would
no,
compare
no,
to everybody else?
no. No, that's not. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Yes, it'd be good to be down and improve on that.
Yeah.
But I like how I've got my friends and all these sorts of
Of
things here, and I
course.
like I like the
Of course.
I
You've
like the
obviously
life
got a
here.
big family and a very close family, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice. That's all. That's really important stuff. At the time to go and move and play badminton whenever. I mean, like I said, I mean, I live 25 minutes south of, probably about 40 minutes from my club in Edinburgh. And when I work in the Central Belt in Livingston, but I live in the border. So lately, I haven't been in Edinburgh at all, really, with all this going on. But normally, if I'm working in Livingston, I drive past Edinburgh to get home. So it's quite
yeah,
easy for me. But I do know a lot of people that, I mean, even then, I'll still play twice a week in Edinburgh. But I do know people that will play. It's becoming. I don't know what you're like. We have clubs, but it's become more where you can just on a Tuesday night, if you want to play badminton, you can go to North Morningside. If you want to play on a Wednesday night, you know that you can go somewhere else. On a Monday night, you could go somewhere. Thursday, you could go to Nomads. It's becoming a far more. It's not necessarily. You still have I suppose you'd have a home club, but I think the community's got a lot more open because everybody's apart from
yeah,
Western.
and
Sorry, Colin.
yeah, yeah. Like I say, that's one thing. You've got options throughout the week, whereas we've not. We've got either you go to Tuesday night or not at all.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
you
That's it.
don't have that choice.
How many shuttles do you go? How many go on a Tuesday night when you play?
It's it depends. Normally you're getting maybe about 12. You've got enough to kind of fill, like we
Three
normally have
courts.
3 courts. You've got enough to fill 3 courts
Good.
and just sort of to chop and change
That's good.
whoever's there. You know, there's like most clubs, there's no guarantee of what the kind of quality is going to be like on the
Absolutely.
night, and I think that's the same with every club. Although you
Yes.
might have in the city,
Probably
you've
not so
got
much. Probably not so much in Edinburgh. Certainly in rural communities, I live in the borders, and it can be very mix and match. You never. I mean, I think I got frustrated a long time ago that going to clubs and you come away from an end of a night and having had one decent game, thinking that was a good game. And I remember first time going to Edinburgh, going to East Lothian, and just having a night of games, and they were all the best games. Every one I came out and I think, oh my god, they were all amazing. Apart from one game where normally I would go to a club and I'd say, oh, at least I had that game, that was good. And I just think it's so much. Yeah, it's a great thing to go to a club. If you ever get an opportunity to, you should go to a club night in like of Edinburgh and see what it's
I've,
like.
I've I've done it a few times. I've been
Have you
to Crags a couple of times on a Sunday
on a Sunday? That's
Sunday
good.
afternoon. Yeah, because that's not so bad, because you can still get there. What's it finish? 7 o'clock. You can still get back for 10 o'clock at night, which is not too bad.
That's dedication, Bruce.
Uh,
That right there, you're talking about is dedication.
I mean, it's the
It's
thing
amazing.
is, normally I went down and there was maybe another one, or and you can kind of split costs and things like that. That way, it's not so bad.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right. Yeah.
but it's very very difficult from just me going. It's a lot, and
Oh yeah.
I know that you have to sort of commit to these things, but at the same time, you still got to live your life and do other things, and you
Absolutely.
can't you
It's the
can't.
kind of thing you could do. You could go. If ever you wanted to, you could go to you could rent somewhere and you could take a week's holiday, right? And you could play badminton like every night at different clubs in Edinburgh for a week.
And you know something, and very many people that know me would say that I would do that. That's no word of a lie. People would say I would do that
You
100%.
would do that
That
100%. You would do that. You're all over that. I don't know you, and I can see it.
yeah,
I've lost your video.
yeah, no, it's all right.
Back.
And
Back.
you've seen the stuff I put on Facebook and things like that, and so yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you obviously
pretty
love it
obvious.
like me, so that's all. That's all great. Okay, I'm gonna go back to questions before I got cut off. What's your current racket?
Astrox 88D.
Oh, I've got that dynamic.
Yeah, it's a nice sturdy racket, and especially
And
with springs on it.
did you think about? Did you wonder whether you were dynamic or skillful?
Well, let's take skillful out of the equation here.
The skillful one is that because the S is a skillful. So if people with the S are meant to be front court players, and D is a back court player, and it's meant to be very powerful at the back. That's a D. That's what the D stands for. Dynamic.
Yeah. Dynamic. Yeah. No, I think
Good for you.
big court hitter kind of sums
Good
me
for
up.
you. So how do you manage family life? You don't really have that problem. Are you single? You just live it? Are you single? Yeah.
Single. Yep. So
Nice one. And do you still live at home? Do you still live at home? Where do you live now?
live at home.
Do you? And how many still in the house?
I've got my dad here. He's the one that's making all the noise.
Good for you.
I'll get help for that in a few minutes.
Good for you. How many people live with you in the house now? With your big family, are they still there? How many are still there?
No, they're all everywhere. It's just me here.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, but generally, do you live with them? I'm saying.
Yes.
Do you still live with all your family, with all of your 7 brothers and your 3 sisters and your 3 brothers?
Well, I think no, because as I said, they're a bit younger than me. Like, there's three younger ones, but the rest of them are all away.
Do you live in a hotel?
No.
That's amazing. I'm from a family of 7, which feels massive, but a family of 9, that's a different league. That is a different league.
Oh God, there must be fights every 2 minutes.
Okay, to manage that's how you manage family life. That you fight. Do your favourite event now and your favourite partner? Do you have a favourite partner?
See, I don't when I'm playing, because again, down to area, you never really have a kind of consistent partner that you're able to work with. If you want to go away and play, then it's commitment. So then I can't make it. I need to find someone else. So there's no sort of consistency in partners. There's no consistency, so I couldn't really say. I mean, I played with some good people, but it's to really sort of create a bond of playing, it's difficult.
Is there many people like peers of your age that play?
There is a couple of them, but it depends if they're here at unis or work away. So
yeah,
generally speaking, I'm the kind of the younger one, if you will. It's there.
Yeah. That's fine. And you're still obviously very competitive. That's an obvious one. And very last question. What is it you love about badminton? What is it? Why is it badminton? You could be playing football, you could tennis, you could play anything. You could do anything. Why do you think you like badminton?
It's just the enjoyment of it. I don't really think there's much else. Just love the sport and kind of everything.
Is it a passion? Is it a passion to win? Do you feel very, very competitive when you're on court? Are you really determined? Are you quite an angry player when when you're in a competition? When you like, I'll hard stare people all the time and things like, or I'll just mock about. But generally, it's always about kind of a bit of banter and really, really get competitive with people. Do you get that?
I think you've got to have a good edge of competitiveness about you. There's no denying that. Yes, it's also good to kind of have the banter with some people on court. Depends on who's standing across the other side of the net. So yeah, I remain competitive, but kind of keep the banter side in check, if you will.
As well at the same time. And does the last question is a bit off tangent. I'm going backwards a bit. Did any of your family, your parents, play badminton ever?
Nope.
Really? Wow. Good.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Bruce Aitken, 27 from Oban Badminton Club. Great to chat. Great to meet you, right? And hopefully we'll see you on court one day, and we'll arrange for when we get back on court to get you down to Edinburgh to get a few Just need to sort you out with a bed and breakfast for a few days, and we'll get you 3 nights of badminton or something.
That's perfect. Thank you very much, Martin, for having me on this evening.
You've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks,
Thank
Martin.
you.
Cheers,
Bye.
mate.
Thanks.
Bye.